A-E-1 short.
Hi, my name is Ninghui. I'm an interior designer based in New York City. I always trust my instincts. Just be a nerd and then go online and liking weird stuff. And then I think all of my friends had that same period of time as well. My friend made this hat and I did the set design for them. That was actually my first set design project. My dream is to I want to be the retail designer for all of my friends who has a fashion brand. This is at some time somewhere for 81 radio. I grew up in China. It's a city called Xiamen, and it's a tiny little island between China mainland and Taiwan. So I grew up watching and listening to a lot of Taiwanese pop songs and Taiwanese dramas and everything. And when I was in high school, I went to this international school, kind of by accident, to be honest. And then I was young and I don't know much, but I just feel like my instinct is that for my college I want to go to New York, so I only applied to school in New York. I think that's kind of naive and kind of dumb, but it leads me to where I am right now, and I appreciate it because it all comes from kind of random choices and instinct. That's what's I think it's really important. And honestly, the first 4 years when I was in college, I worked so much. It's always homework, homework, homework. And then I think I really started to understand the city and starting to know who I am after I graduated. So I really have time to explore what I wanted to do or who I wanted to be. And then my first project after I graduated is I met this guy literally on the street, and he has a vintage store and he's opening a new one. And then we happened because I live around, and then I went to his shop all the time, and that's how we met and get close to each other. And then he knows that I'm an interior designer, so he asked my help to design the new space for him. And so that's the first project I got after I graduated from college. And then we decided to paint the store fully green because he's a big fan of what's the name? Oz. Yeah, Wizard of Oz. Yeah. And that's the inspiration of the whole concept of the store. And like I said, it's relatively a low budget project, so we have to build it by hand. So that's my first hands-on project as well, and I had a lot of fun with it. It's like building your own world. Every day I just go there and start building, cutting wood and do things. And that's when I first decided, okay, I actually want to pursue interior design as my career. It's doable and I actually like it. I really enjoy hands-on projects or wherever I can use my brain, I can connect my brain, my heart, and my hands together. It's the flow that I really enjoy. And it just kind of reminds me of when I was a kid, I go to the beach every week and it was just building castles or build a trap or anything like that. And it's relatively pretty meditating for me. And I really appreciate the opportunity right now that I get to build these projects by hand, because I know that when the scale gets bigger and bigger, you'll just be there. You'll just be giving people the documentation and they will build it. You need a construction team or something. So I really appreciated that in my early career, I had these opportunities to actually build something out. Yeah, and I learned so much from it. I think there are so many possibilities. When you're actually building something, there are so many things that could happen. There's so many things that it's unexpected, and I love those. I don't want it to be like stick with one thing forever and ever. I want to follow my instinct for sure. And yeah, I'm a Gemini, so I change my thoughts like all the time. And I appreciate that. I embrace the changes. I'm not afraid of it or anything. If anything, I'm afraid of like a stable lifestyle or like a yeah. So after I graduated, I definitely had a extremely lonely period of time, but then I started to meet people, and I definitely had hang out with the maybe the wrong crowd or anything. But honestly, I think it's after I started DJing and or like throw parties, and then I started meeting a lot of people that we have like same tastes in music or similar tastes in like culture or our perspective on the world and anything. And then I think finally these years I finally found like my community or like my friends that I feel really comfortable hanging out with. And I did a lot of collaboration with them. I made set design for them. I tried my best to use my skills and experience to help them and like expand the community. My dream is to I want to be the retail designer for all of my friend who has a fashion brand. And yeah, this hat, my friend made this hat, and I did the set design for them. That was actually my first set design project. We made a huge 8 feet by 8 feet box, and from the outside it's a container, and then when you open it up completely with the lid open as well, it will become the world of a fashion designer. Is like her imaginary world of her workspace, and it's like a concept that can show the outside people what the fashion world actually looks like. And I thought that was really interesting. That's what got me into set design at the first place. It's because of my friend. And throughout time, I did a boxing rim for the other brand that's also my friends. And then I'm building a showroom in Chinatown. Also a friend of mine, it's his brand. And I had so much fun like collaborating with my friends and helping them. I think as young creative, it's very important for me to have all these community and friends that we can like sort of grow together. I really appreciate the opportunity, and I'm really happy about it because I think knowing like it's like I could be an interior designer, but I could be designing like offices, or I could be designing like restaurants and bars. But that's the thing that I'm not enjoying as much as like I don't know, like retails or like music venues and stuff. So I think what I do doesn't really matter, but who I am, it's like what makes me special. It's like, oh, it's not like, oh, I'm an interior designer, so I'm so cool. But it's not like that. Like I used to think like, oh, I want to be someone that's like really cool, like a tattoo artist or something like that. But then I realized you can do whatever you want, but knowing who you are is really important. And then like who you hang out with is really important because that's basically who you are. So yeah, that's my thoughts on. So I'm designing a karaoke venue in New York City. I just started the project like a couple of weeks ago, and my dream as an interior designer is always to be like designing music venues or karaoke. Because like I growing up going to karaoke's like all the time. I'll be like skipping class and go to karaoke's and stuff. So it's very lucky and thankful to be able to work on these projects. So the projects will be in London City, and there will be a dance floor first of all, and then several rooms. And we wanted to design every room like we want a space to feel like it's like a time machine or whatever that transfer you to Asia. So it's kind of like a Asia themed karaoke. It's definitely inspired by a lot of Wong Kar-wai movies and a lot of like Y2K Taiwanese posters and everything. I'm also very happy about like I can finally kind of apply my Y2K like aesthetic to one of the karaoke rooms, because like every room will be a different theme. Some will be like vintage Hong Kong, some will be like Chinese pop star, and some will be like, I don't know, cyberpunk or anything. Yeah. So we're just starting it, so we're doing a lot of research. I had a lot of fun doing a little research about like Chinese pop artists and like Hong Kong movie, because these are things that I really like. So I really enjoy this project. I hope it could come along well and nice. And I also really appreciate the opportunity to work with a sound artist or like the equipment department, so I can get to know like the process of building a venue, because it definitely has a lot of things involved rather than just like the material or the structures and everything. Last year, when I went back to my hometown, one of my friends threw her birthday party at a abandoned restaurant on the ocean. It's like a floating site, and it's a restaurant, and it's on the sea. So you have to go across a bridge to go to the site, and it's all like glass window all around. It's really beautiful, and it's also like abandoned site. And then they throw a party there, and I thought, oh wow. It's just like something that pops out in my head that I want to throw a party, and I can really get to design the setup and everything. Yeah, my thought is to have like, I wanted to use that site. Maybe in the future, I want to use that site and then have like a center stage where I can have people like dancing there. I can have my friend who's a pole dancer. I can have her like dance there. And then I wanted to install like the whole sound equipment, and just basically I like to throw parties. So I wanted to throw a party where I can have the opportunity to also design the space and to bring people together and make everyone happy and dance. My grandparents, they have a house in my hometown. It's really old and I'll say kind of dirty, but it has a lot of characteristic. But they passed away a couple of years ago. So if I go back to my hometown, I'll basically be living in that house. So I wanted to do a little reconstruction of that place because it's nice, it's cute, but it's also kind of dirty, and it will take a lot of time to like clean up and everything, because like old apartments are like that. Old apartments can never be clean. So I wanted to keep the I like the idea of adaptive reuse. So I wanted to keep the original characteristic of the space and add it and then add a thin layer of skin or membrane to cover the existing, but you can still see through because the material will be translucent. And yeah, I want to use that skin to as a layer to like protect the existing, but also provide comfort to like to be actually living there. That project has been in my head for a while, but I haven't really had a chance to go back to my hometown and like start the construction. But it will happen. It's gonna happen soon because it's like in my drawer. So yeah, that's something that I want to do in the future. The emotional side of that project, I would say reservation of like old architecture and like old interior is very important, because you wanted to remember the history and everything. But then the beauty of the history could also be ugly, as in it could be dirty, it could be like messy or whatever. And in terms to be like really living there, I have to think about like a solution. So that's something that I thought about, and I wanted to be reserved at the same time livable. I think college could really change people into sometimes into someone that you wanted to be, sometimes make you into someone that you don't want it to be. And I think I might be the one who kind of lost myself in the 4 years of study in the college environment. So also I graduated during COVID, so I couldn't really find a job at the time. But then so I spent a lot of time staying in by myself, and I go online a lot. And then I'm trying to, so I have a lot of time with myself, and then I will think like I will think back to the early self, like when I was in middle school, when I was in high school, when I was in elementary school, like who I was, what I was doing, or like just like kind of having a retrospective point of view on myself, and then trying to connect to who I am right now. And then I think one thing that really how to say, makes me like starting to meet more people is DJing, because I started DJing because I wanted to do a lot of remix of like some old Chinese pop song with like modern like beats like techno or whatever. So I made a lot of one of those Chinese pop song remix. And then I throw parties and stuff and then I inviting like friends that comes and DJ at my party. So that's when I starting to meet friends that I think, okay, wow, we can actually be friends, and I really see like a future between us. Like it's actually from music and from parties. So I think those things are really important to me. I think because I definitely had a period of time that I feel like extremely lonely, and that's why I could have a lot of time like listen to music or like just be a nerd and then go online and like liking like weird stuff. And then I think all of my friends had that same period of time as well. We all have like similar interests that is kind of like a niche interest. Like we're kind of like weirdo, I think. So I think that period of time of extremely loneliness definitely helps me to shape who I am to this date. I think definitely embrace the loneliness, because you will, like, I feel like lonely people will finally find each other in this world somehow. Because very interestingly, I think my friend has like the same vibe as I did. Because like I met someone at like a shooting or something, like a film shooting, and then we became friends really fast, and we just feel like, oh, we're like click so fast. And then he like asked me, and then no, he told my friend, he's like, oh, I think Ninghui looks like someone who had a time where she was like really lonely, and he's like, oh, I had the same. So I think somehow the energy will help you find each other. Honestly, I think I found like a good amount of good friends through like similar taste on fashion, similar taste on music, or similar perspective on how we view the world, or like sharing the same kind of value and everything. And I'm so glad that we kind of build this community together, where we like support each other as young creative, and like I'm very glad that we can like grow together and help each other on every project, and like collab on like things like we have like there are like filmmakers and like designers, musicians, and like writers, actors. It's like it feels so nice that wherever I go, or like like if I'm in New York, I have like a group of community. If I go back to China, oh, my friends are there, so I can hang out with them, and we can be friends like immediately because we're sharing the same thoughts, and like we like the same things, and we have so many things in common, and that's very important to me that that I have my friends in New York. That's the one of the most important reason why I'm still in New York. It's because of my friends.
AE1 short.
At Sometimes Somewhere is produced by Audio-Technica for AT1 Radio. It is recorded at AT1 Studio at Technica House, New York. Follow AT1 Radio and Audio-Technica USA on all social media platforms. Thanks for listening.